my Reiki One course is opening this weekend, and I thought it would be good to have a chat about what got me started on this path. So I put together like 5 things that I wish I'd known before I did my Reiki One certification, which seems a very long time ago now because I've been a Reiki master since 2009. So it took me a minute to sit down and think about this. So let's talk about, why you might be called to Reiki, especially now, because I feel that there is a real pull towards energy healing at the moment, especially because coming back to self and connecting back to ourselves and who we are and getting clear on our priorities and what is important to us is, something that a lot of us are feeling right now. And one of the things that drew me to Reiki in the first place was this idea of healing the connection between myself and my body, because our body feels a lot of the environmental stresses and pressures, and we can have a bit of a disconnect between what we do and who we are. It's that dichotomy of doing and being, and Reiki is one of those paths that brings us back to that aspect of being rather than doing. And in order to be, we have to have this awareness, this connection to the physical vessel that drives us around, right? We're in this physical vessel, it's moving us around all day, every day. A lot of times we don't think about it. We don't think about the wear and tear, the way that our mind uses the physical body, abuses the physical body. So Reiki in its beginning form, especially in Reiki One, because it's focused on the self, it's focused on you personally, really does help heal that connection between, you and your body. I've got my list over here. So the second one was raising my awareness to the energy around me. Now, I've always been a little sensitive to energy, especially as an introvert. I have a lot of sensitivities to sounds and smells and noise and things like that. But it wasn't really until I started on my Reiki path that I truly understood how my energy separated itself from the energy around me. And that was one of the things I wish I had known a little earlier, because I do think I would have maybe given this a bit more of a thought than I did. Because being able to separate one's energy from the energy in which they are surrounded by is really important, because a lot of times we walk through the world, we walk through our day, and we think that everything that we're feeling or thinking is coming from us, and we're just because we don't have that barrier or that separation. So again, Reiki One in and of itself, because it is you focused, it is focused on you as an individual, you start to learn some of these things. Your awareness starts to rise itself up a little bit around what is yours and what is in your vortex of energy and what is intruding or coming in. It gives you some tools to help navigate that. The other thing that it taught me was the connection between my emotional body and my healing, and my health and well-being. When I started on my Reiki journey, I was actually quite sick. And I didn't actually know what Reiki was. That was my wife. She was the one who introduced me to this concept, because I had all the medical tests. I'd been to the doctors, I'd been prodded and poked, and she just wanted me to try something different. So I did. And one of the things that I learned very quickly on this particular healing journey, before I even took my Reiki One attunement, was how much of an influence the emotional body is on our health and well-being. And in fact, I just ran a 14-day group program on the emotional body, but looking at it through the lens of tarot. And I think that was one of the things that a lot of the participants were actually really surprised about, was just how much influence the emotional body has on what we do, how we act, how we engage. how we express ourselves. So knowing that this type of energy, emotion, health connection was actually quite surprising to me. And it was one of the things that I enjoyed the most about learning at the very beginning. And obviously I dived real deep into it after that. The next thing was opening up my intuition. I come from an academic background, so I didn't really think too much about intuition or the woo-woo areas of life. I have a Bachelor of Education and I was doing postgraduate study in cinema and film and fine art history. So I was more interested in visual literacy and, the history of art, politics, philosophy and science, and I hadn't really given the spiritual aspect much thought at all. So I really wasn't attuned to or aware of what we now, what we call intuition, or how we even teach intuition. And I know that seems weird considering the work that I do now, but I wasn't. And even still today, I will tend to flip to my academic brain way before I flip to my spiritual brain. I just can't help it. So it did help me make this connection between this inner knowing. It taught me how to understand my inner knowing and trust my inner knowing a lot more. And again, if these were things I had have known beforehand, that this experience or this journey could have opened this up for me, I think I would have dived into it a little sooner than I did. And last but not least, once I started to learn this stuff, like once I started to get back into the connection of the body, understanding how my emotions worked, opening up my intuition, obviously I wanted more, which I did. I went on to do my Reiki 2 and my Advanced and Masters, and I have been doing certifications and working on clients ever since. So as I said, I got my Reiki Masters in 2009, and I wrote a book about it and all sorts of stuff. So I'm very passionate about energy healing and how it supports us as individuals. And Reiki One is about us. It's about our journey first. It's about how we come to terms with who we are, how we're feeling, what our energy is like, and really getting to know ourselves. And there is nothing more important than understanding you, who you are, how you operate in the world, how you move through the world, how you engage with the world, and how it affects you mentally, emotionally, and physically. So if you have been contemplating Reiki, or you've thought about it, or you've had a session, now's the time to get your Reiki One certification. If you are at all interested in doing this with me, you can let me know in the comments below. Just write Reiki One and we will have a chat. Let me tell you a little bit about how it's set up, because this is not something you have to put on your calendar. You don't have to come and do this with me in person. My Reiki school is set up online. So you'll go through each of the modules, and then you will book an appointment and we'll do the attunements together over video conferencing. So you can do this on your time. You can take your time. You don't have to put big chunks away each day. I think each lesson is no more than 5 to 7 minutes of your day. The people who have gone through this before, some of them did these lessons first thing in the morning, others did them at the end of the day, because it really helped them relax and unwind and just, recenter, come back to themselves. So if you have been contemplating the Reiki path, come and consider doing it with me, because my Reiki One portal opens this weekend and I would love to have you in it. Okay, that is it from me today. I will be back next Friday. I'm going to try and keep these lives going for as long as humanly possible, I guess. But it was great to be here and great to have this opportunity and have this conversation. And I hope it went through, because I'm doing this on my phone. I can't see anything. But again, if you're interested in Reiki One, just leave Reiki One in the comments and I will get in touch with you, and we'll get you enrolled and get you on the path of getting to understand you a little bit better. Okay, that's it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.